Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Oyinda and I'm the owner of Oyinskiskitchen. I don't even know what to say. This is my first video. I don't know why I'm really shy and nervous because it's actually just me and the camera here, but I am nervous and I'm not going to lie to you guys about it. My YouTube is something I've been wanting to do for 4 years, and to be quite honest, there was no main factor as to why I didn't start it, but I know there was small things that I envisioned how I wanted my YouTube to be, and I just feel like I'm in a much more confident and comfortable position to be able to execute it right now, so it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to do a brief get to know me. There's a few questions that I received, I put out, the thing is, I know how to speak, I don't know what's happening. I put out an anonymous question box and I received a few questions from people. I'm just going to answer a few of those because some people actually probably don't know me and I'm just coming to YouTube and probably thinking, who is she? Let me even say, I speak really fast. I'm trying to control it so you guys can understand what I'm saying, but I naturally speak fast and I'm also nervous, so I don't really know how this is going to go. If for any reason when I'm editing I find that I'm really just waffling and talking a lot, I'll probably do a voiceover, but hopefully we don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to get into the questions that I was asked. I'm going to answer a few of them, and hopefully that would let you guys know a little bit more about me before we get into our first recipe. There was a question that said, who are people in the food industry that inspire you? One chef that inspired me is Chef Jason Howard. He is a Caribbean chef, but I think he's currently based in the UK. He inspires me just because his culinary ability is out of this world. Like, there's a lot of chefs, but I don't feel like there's a lot of chefs that can do what he necessarily does. So I feel like he inspires me when it comes to food. Another chef that inspires me would be Gordon Ramsay. He's such a well-known chef, and just his level of success really inspires me. Like, for the simple fact that you might not have tasted his food or been to any of his restaurants, but you know who he is and you know that just everything good about him and food. I think that really inspires me, and it's definitely the sort of level, if not higher, that I would want to one day see myself. Another question was, what has been the most difficult food to cook? I don't know. I feel like there's some foods that require specific techniques that might make it difficult. Something like lobster, like, it's straightforward to cook, but it's difficult in the sense that you can get it wrong or get it right. If you leave it too long, it gets chewy and rubbery. If you don't cook it enough, you can definitely taste that it's undercooked. So yeah, I would say lobster. Favorite dish to cook would definitely be lamb. I don't know if that's because it's my favorite dish to eat, but it's definitely something I enjoy cooking. It's quick, you always get a fail-proof result, like, it's tasty. Lamb is definitely one of those meats that absorb to flavor really quickly without you having to do any sort of pre-marinating or anything of the sort. So yeah, definitely like a lamb with mashed potato and like a mushroom and parmesan gravy. Like, that is my go-to meal. Someone said, how do you juggle uni and cooking? So yeah, at the moment I am studying at uni, but it's only my first year, and I feel like with COVID happening, the structure to uni right now is a little bit more laid back than I expected it to be. That might just be because it's first year, but yeah, it's a lot more laid back. So I feel like with a lot of my lessons being online, it gives me a lot more time to be able to do things like record or attend my bookings, take on bookings. So at the moment it's bearable. I don't want to speak too soon because I honestly don't know what second year is about to look like, but at the moment it is definitely something I can manage, and I hope that I can continue to manage it because both of them to me are equally as important. If not anything, this is more. But yeah. What's another question? When are you coming back to chef it up for South again? We miss your munch, only seeing private bookings. Yeah, that's true. I mean, in the end of the day, the sort of chef that I aspire to be is a private chef. So I mean, that answers another question. I do want to be a celebrity chef. and then further down the line, hopefully own my own restaurant. I think before it was definitely more like, I just want my restaurant, I just want my restaurant. But when I got into private dining and becoming a private chef earlier on this year, I definitely saw that it was the sort of thing I wanted to do. It allowed me to show off my culinary skills, but to quite a small group of people. Obviously, like the party size will always vary. But with a restaurant, I feel like you're very much like in the kitchen. You don't even get to have that experience with your clients, whereas private chef, I'm literally in the same scene most of the time with my clients. A lot of them have open plan kitchens, so I feel like it just makes the experience a lot more enjoyable. You get to meet me, like as in, not that anyone, but as in we get to talk, like it doesn't feel like such a chore. I think it just makes the overall experience a lot more enjoyable. So yeah, like I don't really do meal deals as much anymore because one, I'm no longer based in London, which is where I used to do it, and two, more because I'm just trying to focus on my niche. Like I know that my end goal isn't to be a takeaway chef. Not that there's any problem with that, but that's just not my end goal. Do you get it? Like I want to flourish in the private dining and private chef sector, hence the reason you would see that I'm paying a lot more attention to that. On that note, guys, if you do want to book me for any of your private dinners, birthdays, whatever the occasion may be, make sure to email me below. I'm gonna add it, Oyinskiskitchen@outlook.com, and someone from the team will be sure to get back to you guys. Yeah, but I think that's enough about me. We're gonna get into the video because I'm sure that's all right. You guys are here to snatch the recipes you can snatch, and I'm willing to give the recipes I can give because honestly, what am I holding on to them for? Obviously, some of them I'm going to hold on, like I need some of my recipes, but there's so many that I'm ready to give. So let's get. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make my garlic and herb shrimp soft shell tacos. So obviously we know there's like two, I believe there's only two, but two versions of tacos. You can have the hard taco shell tacos and you can have the soft shell ones. I much prefer the soft shell ones. I feel like it just tastes a lot like, I don't know what the word is, but I just much prefer it. I don't really like the idea of eating crisp with prawns. That's what it tastes like to eat hard tortilla crisps, chips, what you want to call it. But yeah, so I'm going to show you guys how I make mine. I'm going to run you guys through the ingredients. I'm also going to post a slide of all the ingredients and all the measurements. So even if you don't see me repeat the specific measurements that I have to hand, you would definitely see that somewhere where you can screenshot it and refer back to it as well. But yeah, I'm going to run you through the ingredients that we have on deck, and then we're going to get into the video. As you can probably tell, I'm really excited. So yeah.
So here we've got some radish, some garlic, some green chilies, parsley, lime, bicarbonate of soda, black pepper, butter, Cajun seasoning, sriracha hot sauce, sriracha mayo, sorry, some vegetable oil, and some salt.
So for this recipe, there's technically three parts to it. You've got the actual shrimp itself, then you've got the tortilla soft shell tacos, and then you've got like the filling with the slaw and all that stuff. Of course, if you want to make things quicker, you could probably just buy like tortilla wraps from any of the shops. But I feel like the recipe in itself is so simple that you might as well go that extra mile and make your own ones, because homemade stuff always tastes better than shop bought things. And for this specific tortilla recipe, you only need 5 things, of which a lot of them you will find you have at home. So we're going to start with a bowl of flour. This will be listed in the menu section, not the menu, sorry, the ingredient list. You will see what it is. So we're going to put flour, baking powder, oil, pinch of salt, or 2. And then you're going to add some water, but you're going to combine the water bit by bit. So I'm going to start stirring it with, I'm going to start stirring it with my wooden spoon, and then I'm going to start using my hands after a while. So you just want to combine everything, like it's literally a really simple recipe. Let me also note that this water is warm water, not cold, but not boiling. Just warm, straight from the tap should be perfectly fine. So you just want to use the back of the spoon and go in and combine all of this water. You're going to do it in stages. It just makes it easier to work with. And what you're looking for here is to be able to form a ball, basically. Just a nice, soft, firm ball that we will start to work with our hands by kneading it. So it will get to a point where you can obviously see that it would be more practical to use your hands, but I just want to combine as much of that flour and water as possible before I start getting my hand. So slowly getting there. So this is literally 5 things that you need for your tortilla wrap. So it's like the sort of thing that everyone kind of has in their cupboards, and even if you don't have it, it's the sort of things that are really inexpensive to purchase. So now I'm going to turn this out onto the surface and I'm going to start to knead it. If you feel like you do need to add some more water, you can definitely do that, but I feel like only add water once you start to knead it, because that's only when you will truly know if you really need it. So I'm just tossing that all out, and I'm just going to get rid of that spoon. I'm going to use both my hands to combine and basically work the dough. Okay, so this is finally getting softer after some time, but we got there. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to section our pieces of dough into like small little balls about this size. So this should make at least 10 balls, but you might be lucky enough to get more of those. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I got one more than I expected, which is basically what I said, that we would get about 10. Okay, so as mentioned before, we're gonna start to roll our pieces of dough. And you can even see it's gotten nice and softer since we separated it, which is really good because then we get actual soft shell tacos and not these dense pieces of dough. Before I start rolling it out, I just have a clean kitchen towel, which I'm going to place our rolled out pieces into. So I'm just going to lie that on the chopping board so that So we finished rolling out all the tortilla rolls. As you can see, I have them in a cloth here, which I'm literally just going to cover away until we are ready to use them again. In the meantime, we're going to move over to our filling. So inside of my soft shell tacos, I've got like a crunchy slaw, which is literally just made up of some cabbage, along with some hot sriracha mayo, a little bit of lime, and some parsley. It's very simple. It's just meant to be a nice crunch within the salad. So I'm going to start off by slicing up my cabbage. I just have like, this isn't technically like a quarter of the whole cabbage of each color, and we're just going to finely slice that up. Same for our red cabbage. Okay, so next thing, we've got our bowl. And all we want to do is transfer all of our cabbage into this bowl. You just want to separate them as you do that. Any bits that have like harder bits of the cabbage, just keep it out because that isn't going to taste very nice. But other than that, everything else can go in. So all this cabbage we will chuck away. So into the bowl, I've just got some parsley here. Not too much because we're still going to garnish our tacos with the parsley, but I'm literally just going to roughly slice up a bit of this. And then I'm just going to add it into our bowl. Then I'm going to add a quarter of a lime. You you know, click. I don't know if that's the word. But yeah, you just want a bit of that. And then you want to go in with the sriracha mayo. So you can buy this. I think the brand is called Flying. I have it here, wait. It's called Thai Dragon. Is it the same one? No, this is. There's one that's Flying Goose or something. Anyway, you can buy this like this already. Or you can make it, which I usually do. But I just thought, let me just go simple route. You can make it using mayo and sriracha hot sauce. It's literally the same thing. But into this, we're gonna add a few teaspoons. We're gonna add it gradually. We don't want to overdo it. So I'm gonna start off with 3 teaspoons. And I'm just gonna get a larger spoon and we're gonna stir this in. If it is easier for you to use your hands, then definitely do so. All you have to do for the slaw. Pretty easy, and you've still got some sauce left over for when you would like to drizzle that on the top of your tacos. So we're going to push this again to the side, or better still, we're going to leave it in the fridge. We're going to leave it in the fridge so it stays nice and chilled until we need it. The next thing we're going to do is move on to cooking the prawns. Once you've cooked the prawns, we're just going to cook the tortillas, and then we're going to literally start building up our tacos. So as you can see, it's quite simple and straightforward, especially when you've got the hang of it. It isn't something that should take you too long at all. So I've got a bowl of shrimp here which have been cleaned and washed. I cleaned them out with some lemon water. They were sitting in some lemon water earlier on, so if you want to know how to clean your prawns, you can literally do the same thing. I'm just going to pop on a glove because when working with shellfish, number 1, it's stinky, and number 2, I don't really want to mix in my hands with fresh vegetables, you know. So into here, I'm going to go in with a pinch of sea salt, a pinch of black pepper, a little bit more than a pinch. I'm also going to go in a bit of Cajun seasoning because that is the flavour that I would like our wings to be. We're going to go in with some garlic. This is 2 cloves of garlic that I've just roughly chopped. I've kept them still quite big because I actually want to be able to taste that garlic. And then we're just going to drizzle a little bit of oil into this. You don't need too much of it. When it cooks, you're still going to put it down in some oil. So you literally just want to use your hands to ensure that all the flavours are mixed in nicely until each of the prawns are covered. They don't need to be a dark colour. You don't need to use any sort of hardcore seasonings like a Maggi cube. They are shrimps and they take the flavour quite well, especially in a dish like this. You just want it to be light and, you know, just light and fragrant. Not everything needs to be seasoned with Maggi. Like, you just make everything taste like stew when you're not eating stew, you know? But I'm going to move on to cooking the shrimp. So what we're going to need to hand is the shrimp, which we just seasoned, a little bit of vegetable oil and some butter as well. So I'm just going to put our pan on. Fun fact, I hate the induction hobs. Oh! The technicality is just too much. Oh, I don't understand what all of the, like, it's just honestly too much. I much prefer a gas cooker, and they take it. You need to heat up, and once they heat up, they burn everything. So it's just like, you just don't win, honestly. You don't. But do you see how long this is? If it was a gas cooker, I just light up the thing and then, I don't understand. Now it's saying A. What does A mean? Trust me, I know how to cook, guys, I promise. But I'm no skill when it comes to induction hobs. That's just not my thing. We are going to move on in the next step. So into the pan, we're just going to add a little bit of vegetable oil. A little bit. And then we're going to wait for that to sizzle up a bit as well. And then we're going to go in and add our butter. So you're gonna wait for all of that to, you know, start sizzling, and then we're gonna go in with our prawns. But honestly, these hobs take so long that we might just be here tomorrow. Okay, so our oil and butter has finally started sizzling up. So now we're gonna go in with our prawns. You wanna make sure to get all the little pieces of garlic in there. So, smell it already. But yeah, we're literally gonna wait for these to cook. When one side starts turning pink, we're gonna flip them over, let the other side also start turning pink, and then just fully cook through. I'm also gonna just garnish these with a little bit of parsley because why not? These actually smell so nice. Wow. So our prawns are finished cooking and we're just going to transfer them into a steam bowl. I'm going to leave the butter from the pan poured over them just so that it can sit in its own juices and absorb all those flavors. We're going to set that aside, and the next thing we're going to do is start working on our tortilla bread. What you want to do is steam pan and heat it up. We're going to heat it up, no oil, no butter. You literally just want the pan itself to get really hot. That's the pan we're going to start to cook our tortilla taco shells in. Preferably use a cast iron pan, but I didn't have one that was an induction hob with me here. So if you can access one of those, then definitely use that instead. But if not, a standard non-stick pan is perfectly fine. Okay, so now that our pan is nice and hot, all I've done is separated the tortillas that were stacked together into just literally so that they're by themselves. And all we're going to do is place that into our hot pan and allow that to cook. You don't need to do anything, literally. Just wait for it to cook. If you can fit more than one in the pan, then great. If not, then I would say slow and steady, wins the race. Wins the race. And for that reason, don't overcrowd your pan. But if you can manage to fit more than one in, then go for it. So as you can see, we've got it all set up here. You will know when these are starting to cook because they start to puff up a little bit and rise. So when they do that, you can just flip them over. If you want a little bit more color on them, you can keep them there for longer, but honestly, when you feel the texture, you would know that it's cooked. And I'll rip one open once one is done. So these tortillas are cooking. I'm just gonna prep our avocado. Well, cut it, I mean, there's not much prep to do. I'm just gonna cut down the middle to remove the seed. There's actual like avocado cutter thing. It's not that hard to do that one. And I'm gonna use a spoon and literally scoop out the avocado. Same with the other one. And then we're just gonna slice this up. Now we have everything cooked. We have our prawns cooked, we have our tortilla wraps cooked, and we have our slaw nicely prepared. We also have our avocados sliced up. So literally all that's left to do is to prepare our wraps. So literally all you're gonna do is just fold your bread. You can just use your hand, making sure that it is nice and clean. First thing you're gonna go in with is the slaw. You just wanna get some of that slaw at the bottom. And then you're going to go in with some of the avocado slices. It all just depends on how much you like. But I would say about 3 thin slices is a good size. Then you want to go in with the shrimp.
basically how it looks. So you want to prepare a few of those before we start adding the finishing touches, which would be the garnish. That brings us to the end of today's YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make these soft shell prawn tacos. I hope that you guys can remake them and show me your creations because they are delicious. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and be back again for the next video. See you.